No, you're not a fan of Towers of Doom, as we discussed yesterday for potential reasons. Where would you like to see them go?
I'd like to see Czech Republic probably go to Volskaya. So
okay.
Poland, as we know, they're fantastic Hero League players, but as we hinted, some of them might not have the time to put into Hero League because they aren't Open Division teams, or in Mana's case, he's a full-time StarCraft player. So maybe go to Volskaya. It's a map that's only been available in Hero League. And that could be something they could throw Poland off with and definitely get an advantage from that.
Well, let's really find out what the map is going to be, and then I will jump straight back to you for that fort. It looks like, as you can see here, it was Poland who picked the Tomb of the Spider Queen, and the next map is going to be... Those are the previous maps. Next map is going to be Infernal Shrine. So we're going to a standard map with also a lot of teamfight potential. What do you think of that?
Yeah, and I think this could be a similar scenario like on Tomb of the Spider Queen. We have shrines, we have choke points nearby. There's a lot of heroes who can zone out, but the Czech Republic must be prepared for this one. They must expect something else or something similar coming in from the Polish team. Potentially, especially the Probius. Once again, it's so good at dominating those narrow choke points.
Yeah, absolutely. So Infernal Shrines, it's a solid choice, I think, because there are a lot of diverse strategies and there are multiple ways to play the map. So Czech Republic, they still have some room to work with. Definitely a better map for them than Tomb of the Spider Queen, I can say that much. But at the same time, Poland is also a standard map. There are ways that you can play to minimize cheese. There are ways that you can play that give you a very solid base to work from, and that's what I want to see Poland do.
All right, well, let's check out the picks and bans here. Let's see which way these teams want to go with this. Like I said, there is lots of strategic options here for both teams, as Poland takes the first ban here.
Yeah, what I want to see from the Czech Republic here is picking a draft or picking a composition that features at least one or two of those Lucky Punch Haymaker heroes, like a Zeratul, for example. If you're having a really good day, or if the enemy team gets a little bit too cocky, too overzealous, then you can really make those plays with a well-placed VP, throw in a Diablo, Apocalypse combo. Diablo not really being bad on this battleground in general. That's what I want to see here.
And speaking of things you guys want to see, if you want to see your team win, if you are from Poland or the Czech Republic, or you just like what you saw in that last game, be sure to vote for which one you want to see win using that code #PLWin for Poland and #CZWin for the Czech Republic. Right now, you guys beginning to lean a little bit more back towards Poland, 61% to 39%.
Perfectly understandable after that first game. Very convincing from Poland.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me to climb, or to see that climb even more.
Remember, guys, to keep voting, and we shall see if our two analysts here are correct, and if those points will keep going up for Poland. For now, though, Poland not wanting to play against the Genji, and Czech Republic removing Tassadar.
So Poland making a bold choice. They're going to commit to the team fight style on Shrine, or are they? So Sonya does very well at that, but there is a certain cheese that you can do with Sonya where you aim to basically backdoor keeps. It's something that was very much popularized in the EU region by Team Dignitas, but also Fnatic of the Shrine spawns in top lane. We don't care, we're going to the bot lane, and Sonya's straight on the keep and taking it down almost instantly. So, very solid opening for Poland.
Yeah, I also got to say that the response to that Sonya, though, by the Czech Republic is pretty decent. We have a Dehaka who could always lane against potential backdooring heroes. We have an ETC who brings additional crowd control to the table to interrupt the Sonya from spinning. And it's one of those playmaking heroes. A good mosh pit can turn it around.
There's also the option for the double global if they want to try and react to any kind of split push Sonya pressure that they could see. So maybe trying to force Poland into that more teamfighting style. Poland, though, embracing this with open arms with the Rhaegar and the Greymane.
Rhaegar and the Greymane, the double Dogos. And what's so cool about Rhaegar in general, which makes him one of the top tier, if not the top tier support right now, is of course the AoE damage he brings to the table. And that's so good in the Shrine phase, but also when it comes to taking mercenaries to distract the enemy team and force their attention while the Shrine is open.
Absolutely. So I keep talking about it. I feel like I need to get more talking points, but talking about the PvE that Rhaegar and Greymane bring. They are very high priority picks this tournament, and as I was mentioning earlier, with that, let's skip the Shrine. That's something that Poland can absolutely do, because Sonya 100% has that 1v1 on lockdown against a hacker, can even take the Shrine in potentially a 2v1.
So what would be things for Poland to worry about with their next ban? Who have Abathur banned, potentially maybe a Brightwing, remove more global potential to make it so it's less likely anyone's going to help Dehaka against Sonya?
I would definitely like to see the Brightwing, absolutely. I think Dehaka is good against this composition because it has that global pressure. If it's the Hacker and the Brightwing, then you can have a 5v5 or 5v4, sorry, in that bot lane with the double global. Or you can have a 3v2 against the Sonya. So a lot of pressure would come out from a Brightwing pick.
What do you guys think of Malthael here, who could also be a nice counter to the regular Ancestor healing? We saw that yesterday. If you go Touch of Death at level 7, he's good in a lane against Sonya. He's nice in those shrine situations. Do you think it could be a possibility for the Czech Republic, or would they be too melee heavy then?
It is definitely risky, but committing to those melee heroes who do not have push themselves can put you at a huge disadvantage in the macro game. And that's something that, when looking at Poland, when looking at these open division players from Polska Pamięta who did come second and did compete in the Crucible, that's something you have to be scared of.
There is something we should also mention very quickly here, guys. We saw Uther as the ban, by the way, so not the Brightwing, so it could still be picked. But something we should mention is the current patch we are playing on. Junkrat is allowed, Alex Strauser is not. So there is a small chance we could see it for the first time, I suppose, in a professional environment, the Junkrat coming into play.
Junkrat is a tricky one, though. There's a lot of debate going on between players who think he's absolutely godlike and players who say, he's not really that good. I'm not sure which party I belong to up to this point.
Yeah, you just wait for evidence, which we could
We need evidence. We definitely need more professional evidence, that's for sure.
I think Junkrat is a hero that's very similar in his role to Greymane, but just doesn't bring the versatility and the team fighting potential that Greymane does. Instead, he brings some really wacky utility, such as the huge displacements or indeed the zoning of the mines.
So we see Valor and Malfurion coming in here, potentially opened up for another damage dealer or a second support. So very flexible final pick spot there for the Czech Republic.
So Bakery was talking a lot about the early game pressure that the Polish team can build up with that draft they've got here. A hero that is really nice to support that in a way is Zarya. I think she would fit in here quite nicely. You can really absorb a lot of those tower shots early. You can empower yourself, and you can go for those crazy pushes while the enemy team may be, for example, busy clearing a shrine.
Absolutely. I don't think I'd like to see them commit to Zarya. I'd much rather than pick a main tank, and there we go, a mage, a Vayne's Assassin. So Anubrak, again, very good at these backdooring, split pushing. The Beetles can tank the towers. You can tank the towers with shields. Definitely a good pick for that. So
I haven't really seen a lot of Anubrak at all in this tournament thus far.
No, I think that might be the first pick.
Yeah, even against Shogal yesterday, I was wondering, no Cocoon against
Shogal did catch them quite off guard, to be fair. But yes, I believe you are correct that this is the first Anubrak we are seeing today. And combining it with Li Ming, one of the biggest counters to the Anubrak in the form of that Disintegrate, just
don't have to worry about that.
Through that Cocoon. They don't have to worry about it, like you said. Instead, they can use the Cocoon as setup for Li Ming's combo.
I'd definitely like to see a second support coming out from the Czech Republic. I think Valor's very vulnerable to the Greymane, to the Anub, even to the Li Ming right now. So I'd like to see potentially a Karazim, potentially a Brightwing. As we said, we think Brightwing is one of the few picks that can provide a lot of pressure onto opponent's comp here.
What about Stukov?
That as well. So Stukov has been rising in popularity this tournament. I do think this is a fine situation for him.
And we see Tyrande. It's a
second
support. It can heal.
That is effectively a very scary CC combo, but it's against the Veigar, and it's against the Sonya, it's against the Anub. So it's not the ideal situation for it, but Czech Republic have tools this game. Last game, they were very limited in what they could do, and Poland took perfect advantage of it once we moved past that early game. This time, they themselves have the kill pressure. They have the wave clear from Malfurion. They have the huge chain lockdown, which is you hit one stun, you follow it up with a tongue, you follow that up with a root, and you follow that up with a stun from Tyrande. They were marked the whole time. There's a lot of damage on the Czech Republic side.
Yeah, the Czech draft reminds me a little bit of a Korean draft sometimes because they like to run the ETC Tyrande a lot themselves as well. But Korea is known for crisp execution and top-notch timing. So I'm not sure if the Czech Republic has the means to really execute it as flawlessly as the Koreans.
Well, you're talking about execution. How should the Czech Republic execute this draft to try and gain a victory here?
They need to go for ganks. As easy as it sounds, but they need to get this early game pressure to really prevent another snowball in the early game from Polish team.
I'd like to see some sneaky shenanigans. I'd like them to be backdooring. I'd like them to be flanking all the way around, turning up behind Poland at every possible opportunity. And I think that's how they catch them off guard. I think that's how they get the picks that allow them to get a foothold in this series.
Sneaky shenanigans is the term from Bakery. I'd be interested to see how that has affected the votes, if any, the Tyrande has maybe won some people over. We were literally looking at the Tyrande from yourself earlier today in a YouTube video that we found. So we do know it can have that insane impact to allow you to turn around those fights.
Yeah, and what Tyrande also brings to the table, which cannot be underestimated, is vision. So you can really find targets that may be isolated, that may be separated from their teammates a little bit better. You can also tell where those Sonya shenanigans or the split pushing shenanigans may come from. So the Sentinel here could be quite crucial.
In final words, who are you rooting for?
I'm going to have to go with Poland again. That was such a convincing game one. I cannot be swayed, even by the Tyrande pick.
I've got some friends in the Czech Republic, and as much as I would like to support them, I just can't do it. Poland it is.
2 votes for Poland, and I unfortunately cannot stray away from their expertise here as we head into game number 2. And Kendrick, who's the team on the left?
It is the Polish team, one of the clear favorites of this tournament. And if you saw game number 1 in this best of 3, you know why they're considered to be exactly that.
And on the right-hand side, looking for a potential comeback, it is going to be the Czech Republic. Starting off with some owls and starting off with some hungering arrows.
Yeah, exactly. And it really makes me happy to see the Polish team look so good, because Poland has always been one of those traditional European esports bastions. And there's a lot of national pride going on. The Polish fans are very emotional, very excited when it comes to cheering for their favorite players. And I'm really excited to see how far this momentum potentially can carry this all-star team.
As am I. Like you said, Poland has been around since the very beginning.
Oh,
there
yeah,
were like
for sure.
some of the alpha teams. I think I mentioned G2 Esports earlier from back in the day. Back in like, what was that? 2015, 2014,
early 2016. Yeah.
Yeah, way back in alpha almost. Good burrow by Respect, but it's not enough.
Wait, is it?
Zadoon. Oh, yeah, it's not enough. Zadoon, for starters. Really nice mind games. Dived in, looked like he was going to cast it. Respect burrowed to dodge it, which was really good, but Zadoon was holding it back. Respect, though, nice moves, was still able to escape.
He almost got the cheeky tongue in that we saw yesterday on those Dehaka players. It was against Genji. I can't remember which player it was.
It was against 2 heroes in a row.
Yeah. A lot of drags were used that day, and they almost always found their targets here. Azimex needs to wait a little bit longer, though. He's definitely rocking the right skin, though. That Dehaka is definitely my favorite.
Dehaka, I love that name. As we do see other talents worth talking about. Warpaint, as we've seen almost every single game from the Sonya here, giving her that extra solo lane potential and helps her a little bit with mercenaries a little bit later on.
Oh, for sure. You always want to take a look at your opposing laner when you play Sonya, and then you decide what to go for. If you face a heavy, hard-hitting opponent, like let's say Leoric, then oftentimes block is the way to go, especially against those hard-hitting maces. But in a matchup where it's a lot of trading, a lot of back and forth, and a lot of where there's a lot of focus on sustain, then you go for Warpaint, 100%.
So right now we are seeing that Moonburn already up to 30 stacks, so that's already very nice by Malfurion. And Tyrande already on 2 stacks, so she's going to get up there. But the thing is, they need to survive long enough to start getting value out of those owls, as we do hit level 4 for both teams pretty close to the same time.
Yeah, and we see Underking coming in for a Nubarak. Sometimes you still see better barbs, especially if you need to close in corridors and if you need reliable CC to really proc with other talents, for example, Nara's unfair advantage. But in most cases, Underking is the way to go because you really want to have that range, the cooldown reduction later on. So good. And the tongue connects the follow-up stun as well. And First Blood goes over to the Czech Republic team, but they pay dearly for it.
Whoa, okay. That went downhill really fast. As we do see Thray with a 3-man stun trying to get his ally out. Resmex gets finished off. Thray, the only survivor for his team. And like you said, really nice kill with everyone comboing, but the second that happened, we saw the backline just get dived by the remaining heroes.
Exactly. I mean, it's nice to start off a team fight with a kill. However, if you expose yourself while trying to go for that kill and you take the retaliation blow, it's probably not worth it. And Mana on that Li Ming, when he gets those resets rolling, he's going to punish the Czech Republic team mercilessly.
So we do see that vulnerable, that Hunter's Mark being immediately dropped onto the Punisher, which does allow him to clear that up a little bit quicker. Tyranta, very useful for that kind of scenario.
Yeah, and this is what we talked about during the draft here. Rhaegar is so good when it comes to clearing mercenary camps, but guess what? His wolf brother, Grayman, is just as good. And you can really see double mercenary pressure, just like that in a couple of seconds.
And Nubarak can actually solo camps, so I'm pretty sure the only person on this team who can't solo camps is Li Ming.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I guess she could, given enough time and enough health being lost, but yeah, she could. Everyone on that team can do mercs at some point.
And that also messes with your macro play, because sometimes when you play maps like Cursed Hollow, for example, and there's only one dedicated mercenary clearer, then you can tell, okay, this person, we can't see by the minimap, we can't see that person anywhere, he's doing mercenary camps. Let's go there.
Raid, exactly. And when you're against this kind of team, it's literally anyone is gone. They could be ganking us, they could be stealing a mercenary. What do we do about that? And the answer is very little, because there's very few reactions that could be appropriate.
And last game, Tetra, we put a lot of focus on Gugus, who's now playing Grayman, but this time around, I really want you guys to follow Wolfsy on that Sonya. I think he's easily one of the best solo laners, one of the best off-tanks in Europe. Whenever you have him in your Hero League team, you know you can bank on that guy to not fall, to not feed, to always be there when his team needs him. So Wolfsy, super solid, reliable player.
Yeah, he is. He's been around for a long time, and he has been consistently impressive throughout his entire career. Tyranta at level 7, bringing out the Darnashian archery. Potentially one of the talents that can be the most hilarious in the late game.
It really can be. In the meantime, though, we see Wolfsy fall, and thanks for making me look like a goof on stream, Wolf. I appreciate it.
Yeah, look at it. Keep an eye on this guy.
You can always
He's really good.
him. He's never going to feed or anything, you know.
Yeah, keep an eye. You guys just watch this guy. He's going to do something great. Oh, he died.
But sometimes you can just blame it on tactical feeding and be like, hey, I bought you guys so much space, get something done elsewhere. And it looks like the Polish team was doing exactly that.
All 3 lanes.
A little bit of pressure in the bottom, a little bit of soaking in the middle. So they're very close to level 10 now, Tetra.
They are, and there it is. Heroics available here. It's going to be the wave of force, go for the throat, ancestral healing, the cocoon, and leap from Sonya. They wanted that extra engage potential and that extra blow-up potential against a comp with no cleanse.
Yeah, that is exactly the crucial point here. There's no cleanse available. Now you put Malfurion into the cocoon, and there's not going to be any disengage available, and then Li Ming, Sonya, Grayman, they all bam, jump, pounce on the same target, and take an innocent life.
Now we see, even though they gained a little bit of a head start, the Czech Republic have been completely forced off this objective. And now, Poland, those who don't stay there, they don't have to be here at all. They can just leave Sonya up in the top lane to do the objective, while they look for advantages elsewhere. In this case, they were looking for a kill onto Thray, but ETZ a little bit too tanky. We see that attempted punishment. Gugus takes the damage, but it's not enough to finish, and the Beetle prevented an extra shot.
Now, can the Czech team reach level 10 before that Punisher knocks at their front door? It's going to be very important. Nice dismount here on Zadoon. Buys them a couple more seconds. ETC though, Thray needs to be very careful how he approaches that fight.
This fort is gone. No, zoning potential is way too good from Poland, coming down from that southern area, able to force everyone from the Czech Republic back. This does mean they'll have the level 10s, but that fort is complete. There was no way they could defend that.
I like what Tahaka's doing in the bottom lane, you know, squeezing in that tiny little additional amount of experience.
Yeah. Not a huge amount of good place for him to tunnel to, though.
Uh-oh.
Oh, the leap on Tyranta. The mosh pit and the attempted turnaround. They're trying to get it. They pick up a counter kill here. And guess what? They can't kill Thray because he was in the cocoon.
Yeah, that was really cool. A really nice move, but... Oh, no. This is bad.
Kenny!
Really bad.
Kenny goes down.
You're not supposed to follow your role model from a famous TV show too much, man. You can't die all the time. No, but I want to highlight the clean and crisp execution there by Poland, and that's why you can see, guys, hold on, the team fight is not over just yet. Czech team is on the hunt now.
Double out.
Turn around.
Double hour revenge attempt, but Thray was too far away. They can't keep up. Rhaegar's too fast. Guga's able to use literally disengage as its own namesake this time to put some distance between himself and the enemy team.
Yeah, it really shows the importance of who tanks the Immortal. the Punisher, excuse me, over the wall. If it's one of the squishies like Tyrande and Malfurion, it's just an invitation to the enemy team to say like, hey, you know what? Just jump on me. I mean, I just took the John Cena slam. Why don't you follow it up with everything you've got? And I'm probably dead. Especially while Malfurion doesn't have Ice Block. Once he gets that, you can maybe bait people into making a play that they regret later. But as it is for now, you really need to have to Haka or ETC tank it and no one else.
So, the level 10s, they have been here for a while for the Czech Republic. They've gone for the double-sided, very CC heavy. And of course, Tyrande going with the more usual these days, Shadow Stalk.
Yeah, I mean, Starfall can sometimes be used as... Oh, no. Kenny almost walked into the wrong neighborhood here. Yeah, Starfall is sometimes good if you have a lot of Wombo Schmombo, if you have a lot of zoning potential, like the slowing stance, for example. Yeah. But if you don't have anything quite like it, then Shadow Stalk is the way to go, especially when there's a lot of blow potential. Let's say Tyrande gets focused by Li Ming and Greymane. She can pop Shadow Stalk and deny the killing blow.
And the extra attack speed, of course, that she comes out of that just makes her insane. Combo that with the Darnashi and Archery, and she is going to have a brilliant time.
Yeah, brilliant times indeed. Now, speaking of brilliant times and combo combos and AoE devastation, that's exactly what the Czech team needs. They are not too far behind. I mean, 1.5 levels, that looks a little bit rough at first glance. 1 talent exactly, but they're going to be there soon. They just need to survive and buy a little bit more time. Holy cow, Thray, that was really close.
It was nice though. Yeah. 3 abilities out, burn a little bit of mana, burn some cooldowns. Unfortunately, they're not capitalizing on this. Valor's doing Mercenaries up in the top lane, killing off this Fallen Shaman with just under half-stacked Hungry Arrow build.
Exactly, Kenny now helping out the Vala, trying to tank a little bit of the damage from the Fallen Shaman, and those mercenary camps are probably one of the most fearsomes in the game because they can single-handedly take down forts and sometimes even keeps if you don't pay attention to it, because the Shaman is always going to spawn new doggies to tank towers and forts and keeps alike.
Level 13 finally available for the Czech Republic. This is going to make their defense a little bit easier, especially as it looks like Poland are going to be pushing in with this. So any talent they have available to them is so important. Exactly. Tyrande, by the way, 15 stacks on her Owls, whereas we just saw Tahaka finish his movement speed talent.
Yeah, this one unfortunately not hitting anyone. The Sentinel going into the Void, and for now we're going to have to pay special attention on who tanks that Punisher. It's very scary. Once you get that initiation, but look at that follow-up. They're all jumping on ETC. They blow him up in split seconds.
The Li Ming Greymane damage just too much, but the Shadow Stalk is able to get Tyrande out of there. She will survive the Cocoon though, preventing any extra defense here. So the Keep is in danger, and they pick up another kill. Are they going for more? Yes, they are. The wave of force is just being huge. Good drag. Beatles, he's out of Beatles. Good healing. Can they save Zadoon? And Mesmer on the last second. And Zadoon stays alive. Punisher leaps in for more. Oh, once again, Tahaka being a bit of a pain. Kenny is delaying his own death. The Twilight Dream trying to turn it around into the Dream. It gets to the core. It's taking damage. Tahaka tries to drag in the Anubrak. Zar is getting stunned up by the Anubrak as the core is slowly dropping. Li Ming's still alive. Wolves is at full health and unattended, but the team is starting to drop down. Wolves in full retreat. Thray chasing down, but they can't chase any further. The Impalers have to be cleared.
Yeah, they have to clear this immediately, but that was a good hold by the Czech team. 55%, that is nowhere near being a simple core rush for the next time. 55%, that's a respectable amount, and they actually did a good job keeping everyone alive, destroying the damage dealers, killing them very quickly. And I think it all started with Anubrak being so out of position, dropping so low, and we also had a couple of good mechanical plays on the side of the Czech team. That Ice Block on Malfurion, the silence that followed right after, beautiful.
Even though they were able to drive back home to pick up a couple kills, they're still 2 levels behind because they lost so many members. It was just so early in the game that they had the respawn timers to be able to defend themselves and defend their core in this scenario. This is still far from an easy situation that the Czech Republic find themselves in. They are very much on the back foot.
Yeah, they're not out of the woods just yet. They need to have a couple of those team fights if they really want to make that comeback happen.
Yeah, but they only have so many core healths to sacrifice that kind of team fight. Whereas Vex Burrow, he's getting chased down though. He doesn't have adaptation, only isolation. It gets taken down, and that's yet another kill. We can see the rest of the Czech Republic just going to try and drive away the members of Poland. There's no way they can take a team fight, but they can at least pretend like they can.
And do you see how cheeky that Polish team just played that? They were literally standing next to their opponent's keep, and they still went ham on that target, which was a Dehaka. It's not an easy target to kill, but they realized, hey, we got level 16. We're playing so well with that burst damage. They even went for a quote-unquote hard-to-kill target.
We now see Poland just going to remove the last remaining 4, leaving the only structures left for the Czech Republic being that one remaining keep and the core, and of course the tower in front gate in front of that mid lane.
Yeah, exactly. And there's not a whole lot left here for the Czech team. 2 keeps destroyed, top and bottom. The side lanes are sometimes the trickiest ones to have this keep disadvantage because it takes you so long to rotate to those lanes at any given point. So this shrine, they basically can't give it up. The Czech Republic needs to make a stand here. They can't let this Punisher go through, especially since it's an Arcane one. That's the strongest one too. Okay, never mind. Malfurious in trouble.
He was able to ice block. Twilight Dream grabbed 4 members here. Cocoons popped. They have everyone available. Owls are landing. That's good. As right now, Czech Republic are surviving the fight. They're sustaining as they do push back Poland. The difference is Poland have a fountain here.
Exactly. That's a very good point. I mean, they do have the Czech Republic does have a walking fountain, which is Malfurion, but there's only so much the Druid can do. And now rejuvenated and refreshed, the Polish team is making the next.
Mosh Pit gets just Li Ming, but Gugas survives against Central. Malfurion is so out of position. Not out of position, he was just closed in on by Li Ming after that Mosh Pit ended. Death Thrower finally chased down by Wolves. Thray is zoned out, and the last 2 members fall as we see Poland moving back across the map. 30 seconds before the next member's alive. This is going to be GG, and Poland, despite some signs of life from the Czech Republic, they are going to be able to take this 15 kills to 4.
Yeah, kudos to the Czech Republic. They fought much more valiantly than in game number 1, but in the end, it was not enough to overcome the onslaught from Poland. The Polish Armada with players like Mana, Gugus, and Arjiv, they really didn't disappoint.
And this is what we have been expecting from them. Like we said, some of the favorites to win the entire tournament. Bakery. The Tyrande.
So there were definite moments where the Tyrande was working out, and Czech Republic looked a lot more competitive in this game, I have to say, than the first one. But Poland did look like their tournament favorites. So they performed really well, and again, strong performance.
Very strong performance indeed. And overall, though, like you said, they did look a bit more competitive. Now, do you think that that competitiveness can transfer over to the rest of their group? Do you think there's still a chance of them making it through in the top 2?
I think against a team like the Netherlands, they can maybe catch some ground. Against Spain, it's probably not going to get any easier than against Poland. But they can definitely take this game, put it in their books, and gain a little bit of knowledge and experience for it. Because let's face it, most of the Czech players have never played on a level like that. Hero League cannot be compared to a 5-man competitive team. So maybe they can use this moment, analyze the replays. That's something I would definitely do if I were them, and then transfer that into the next games.
You could not have given me that easier. Analyzing the replays, Bakery, what have you got for us?
So the first one, we spoke about the Czech damage and their CC and how much potential they have. And we're going to see that here. So Thray slides onto Greymane. Now, but Malfurion, look at Malfurion. He tries so hard to get the victory follow-up. He gets super out of position, and Mana sees this. The perfect combo threads the needle. Malfurion goes down. Greymane does die, but that's not going to matter because resets, baby. He gets 1, he gets 2. Here's the 3rd, and then, okay, he's got even more. And they're going to chase them out, and they are going to get the kill. So Mana having a fantastic performance on Li Ming here, and definitely making the difference with that fantastic vision onto the Malfurion and seeing him out of position.
Yeah, and what I want to talk about here real quick is the way the Polish team designed their draft around the map as well. Because, you know, going for blowups is fair and square. We see that on almost any battleground. But on Infernal Shrines in particular, you can use the objective, which is the Punisher, as an initiation tool. And you could really see how the Czech Republic struggled. Even when ETC was tanking that slam, they followed up immediately and killed him before the Ancestral could even hit.
And we are about to see that, my friend, in the replay, which is the keep dive. So as we go forward, we see Tyrande gets a bit out of position, Punisher jumps in, but Thray on ETC sees this, so he gets caught by the leap. And now he sees the Inupo, and he thinks there's no infernos left for Mosh Pit. This is going to be perfect. It's going to catch 3 people. But Mana, look at the Wave of Force. Knocks Faye back. He casts Mosh Pit, okay? So Mana saved the day. But for some reason, Zadoon and Sonya are going to walk back into the Mosh, even after get knocked out of it. So Mana, he got the reset. He saves the day again with another Wave of Force. Kenny, though, does get defolied with Twilight Dream. Sonya does go down. But wait, the Punisher is still here. And as we're about to see, the Punisher is going to jump on my Furion because everyone's running away. And here, Poland, again, just like Kenny was mentioning, following up on the Punisher's leap consistently. And again, very impressive play from Poland as a 5-man unit, but as individuals as well.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I think everybody really lived up to the hype that was built around them. Arjif, we had good support plays here. Mana, not disappointing. I mean, this guy was playing at the Home Story Cup for StarCraft 2 a few days ago, and already he came back, practiced hard in Heroes of the Storm, and plays 2 games at the same time on a very, very high level.
Exactly. Absolutely fantastic player. And he did run Li Ming. Now, when we talk about mages on this map, Li Ming works everywhere. We're going to preface this with that. But when you talk about this map, a lot of people seem to prefer Kael'thas or Jaina, for example, due to the fact that or Chromie, because you're doing damage directly to the objective, whereas the Arcane Orb, for example, can only hit the front wave. That had no bearing on this at all, because I guess if all of your abilities hit the enemy heroes, then it doesn't matter if there are just minions on the objective, because that's not your job.
Yeah, exactly. And if you have heroes like Sonya, who clear the skeletons off very quickly anyways, that means there's more space for those Li Ming spells to really hit. So I don't think that was an issue, as you said, and it really shows how the Polish team just doesn't necessarily care about the battleground too much. They just have their battle plan, and they're executing it flawlessly.
I was actually quite scared when I saw the Li Ming. I would have preferred something like a Gul'dan, and I thought that the Shrine minions would be a real issue for Mana. But actually, he just showed a fantastic positioning. Every single Shrine, he was stood almost 90-degree angle to where you think he would be, and he was doing a fantastic job of controlling vision. But not just him, his whole team were controlling the vision of the Czech Republic team that allowed him to stand in these positions.
You said it right at the start of your first replay, threading the needle, and he was doing that constantly. However, that is the end of our first series of the day. We do have 3 more series coming up for you, though, and the next one is going to be a doozy. It is going to be Russia versus Ukraine, and we will be back with that right after this break.
Uplifted and empowered by the Titans, Alex Strauss